If you only knew the power of the dark side, it is your destiny.
Hello everyone, this is Take the Gate. It is June 30th, 2014, and this is a story from RT. Nebraska releases hundreds of inmates by mistake and now wants them back. Authorities in Nebraska have mistakenly freed hundreds of prisoners over several years due to correction officials miscalculating their sentences. Law enforcement is now looking to put dozens of them behind bars again. All in all, 306 inmates were freed erroneously, a situation first exposed by local media outlet Omaha World-Herald. 257 of them won't be pursued on condition that they don't commit any offenses, because they would have completed their sentences by now. 3 others died since they were let go, and 5 have successfully completed their parole. On top of that, 567 inmates who weren't released received incorrect sentences, the AP reported. Obviously, there was a mistake made. The individuals who made those mistakes are going to be held accountable. Unlikely, in my opinion. There's no way this should have occurred, Governor Dave Heineman stated on Friday. Michael Kenney, who was appointed director of the Department of Correctional Services in September, has already declared that his agency takes full responsibility for the error. He added that his people are scrambling to correct the prison sentences, refusing to say if any miscalculation was accidental or prison officials simply ignored the message from Nebraska's attorney in the first place. The mistake, as reported by Omaha World-Herald, is that the Department of Correctional Services failed to observe 2 Nebraska Supreme Court rulings that indicate the correct way to calculate prison sentences. Inmates who got a mandatory minimum sentence first have to complete that term before starting to earn so-called good time credit, which can cut their remaining time in half. An example is Marvin Buggs, who was sentenced to 30 years behind bars for manslaughter and wasn't released. However, his sentence was still miscalculated. The mandatory minimum in his case would be 10 years before the start of good time, which means he would serve 20 years before becoming eligible for parole. Instead, he was allowed to start his good time period right away and would have been released in 15 years. An unknown number of prisoners were re-incarcerated on Thursday, and the state refused to identify them for safety concerns. 20 to 25 arrest warrants were issued in 8 counties in Nebraska. Some of the former prisoners would qualify for furlough programs, temporary release from custody, and one is being paroled. The prisoners have 1 to 4 years remaining on their sentences, AP reported, citing Attorney General John Brunning. Many of the inmates are habitual prisoners, and some of them are considered dangerous, Brunning added. So, their contract allowed them to leave prison and apparently allowed them to be placed back into prison due to error, which in my opinion would be double jeopardy and a civil rights violation and susceptible to lawsuits for a U.S.C. 42, 1983 deprivation of rights under color of law. I'll let you take a look at this in the description below. This is Take the Gate. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. Signing out.